dancers, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn to do your very first pirouette. I've had a lot of requests for this video from you guys, so I'm finally getting around to doing it. Before we get started on all the breakdown, make sure you drop below, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you never miss out on a new video. Alright, so let's get started. Today we're going to be learning a single pirouette. I'm actually going to just walk you through all the mechanics. Now, disclaimer. If you were my student, I typically don't start you just jumping right into a single pirouette. I first teach you guys quarter turns, then half turns. Then once you're really independent with both of those and your technique is really good, then I progress onto the single pirouette. But we're just going to focus on the single today. Today's pirouette is going to be more American ballet technique, and we're going to do it from fourth position. So starting out for our pirouette, we usually start in fifth position. Typically the next thing we do is tendu to second position, place it back in fourth position. Now, let's talk about a couple things in this fourth position. A lot of people will sit back, they'll put all their weight on their heel, and their pelvis will go into an anterior tilt. We don't want that. When we're doing a pirouette, we want more of the weight to go forward because we are going to put all of our weight on the front foot once we actually turn. If your weight is too much on the back, you won't really be able to press up very well and you'll fall backwards out of your turn. Make sure your fourth is not too big. My teacher always told me a foot in between your fourth position is how big your fourth should be. Also make sure that your fourth is not too crossed or too open. I like to guide with my front heel. If my front heel is slightly in front of the back big toe, then I know that my fourth position is in a good alignment. When we go down in our plie in fourth position, I want your weight again to be slightly forward. So when you go up for that pirouette, you're going to think up and diagonally forward, not going backwards and not staying in the middle. Your torso has to stay relatively immobile. The spine needs to stay held in neutral, your core is active, and shoulders should be on top of hips, staying this way through the whole pirouette. So nothing gets separated. Your shoulders don't go before your hips don't go before your shoulders. This is like a box here, and we don't move the box. When we actually get ready for our takeoff, if we're doing an outward pirouette, which is called en dehor, your opposite arm is going to be front. The other arm will be to the side in second position, and then you're going to pick up the back leg for an en dehor pirouette. Then you're turning towards the leg. So it's like this leg is an arrow pointing the direction you want to go. So if you're in fourth position, opposite arm is front of the leg, the back leg comes up to passe, front of the knee. This is the way you're turning, towards the arrow. This arm in second position is going to meet in first position in the front. The same time this leg comes to passe. So that's one movement all happening at the same time. So practice that coordination first, and then you can move on to the next part. All right, so what have we learned so far? We learned we're going to tendu to side, place in fourth to plie. Our weight's going to go diagonal and forward, and we're going to push off our legs. Our back leg is going to come in the front of the knee, meeting there at the same time as that arm in second comes in to first position. So everybody needs to learn how to spot. If you can't spot, you won't turn. Well, you can turn, but it just won't be technically correct. So spotting, you want to leave your head looking at a spot that's eye level for as long as you possibly can. When you can't physically keep it there any longer, you whip it around before the body, find the same spot, and come back around with the body. So the head, in the Cicchetti method, they say it's the last to leave the said spot and the first to return to the designated spot. So follow that rule when you are spotting your pirouettes. So here, we're back in fourth position. When we actually go to take off, you're going to press this leg in front to releve, and then it comes back down. When we land our pirouette, you can land it a couple different ways. Today we're going to just land in fourth position where we started, but you can land them in fifth, you can land it in a longer fourth. It just really depends on your technique. So before we actually go to turn, stand in fourth position and do a couple of releve press ups for me. So you're gonna go plie, press up and down, press up and down. All right, after we've accomplished that, we know that we're going to stand in fourth. Our arms are here. We're gonna plie. We're gonna bring that arm in, leg at the same time. Now comes the fun part. When you pirouette, I don't want you to wind up, and I don't want you to push really hard. So some people think pushing really hard is good. Going like this, that's not gonna make a good turn. This doesn't make a good turn either. Find your center. Use that diagonal up force, core in, alignment, and pirouette. For more tips on balancing and training your lower extremity to get better at turning, make sure you check out my Veronica K Platform. I have a foot and ankle course that's coming up soon that will condition your calves for better balance. I also have an entire balance course for your equilibrium to get better as well. Click the link below in the description and you can find out how to learn more about my memberships. See you next time.